Good morning, Bernice. This is Rhonda Kitchens, your librarian. I hope I'm getting to you in time. It's morning here, so let's go. I want to let you know where I'm at. I'm at my campus at argosy.edu. When I went there, I signed in. I came to this page. One of the fastest ways to the library is go down here, click on Library Resources. We will go here, and we will have a database list. And your database list is going to be alphabetic, and I advise you to use Academic Search Complete. That's because it's a broad database. It covers everything from astronomy to zoology, but sometimes it may be too broad, but this is the one I showed you on the step-by-step. You would just click here, and that will have a broad range of journals. I haven't had all my coffee yet, I'm sorry. Alternately, you can come here and click on counseling, and this will take you to some of the best items. It also has videos and ebooks if you need to look at those. And this is a pretty good list. I like it because it shows up Sage Psychology, which will probably be awesome for your research if you want to go to that point. I'm not going to show you that because that's actually the easiest database to search. It's very simple. The only thing you need to do is make sure you have the green unlocked piece. We don't have access, full text access to everything. But I'm going to show you the Academic Search Complete. And sorry about that. And your search, I like to start out really broad. So we have minorities. But if you notice, there's a bunch of different suffixes for minorities. So I'm going to do this. I didn't do this in the step-by-step, so you have extra features in this video. When you put a truncation mark, it gets other words that have varying suffixes. So I'm going to go with this, and your other thing was counseling. You could also do that here, cancel, canceling, etc. But I'm just going to stick with canceling here, but you could have put an asterisk here to get other types of things. This also gives you some other words or ideas that you can add, but I like to start broad. Now, when we go into the search, we have 2,000 things, which is far too much. So let's narrow that down. I'm assuming you're in a summer class, you're working real fast, you want full text. When we look at this, the best thing this database could do is tell us it's in a scholarly journal. It cannot tell us the article is scholarly. So we're going to pick references available. That's one of the 5 different ways you can tell if an article is scholarly, and it's pretty major. And of course, we will check scholarly and peer-reviewed articles. If you don't do that, your selections will include newspapers and sometimes some industry journals, which may be fine. You may not need to do all that, but please go for the full text if you're in a hurry. Here, sometimes your professors will ask you for 3 to 5 years. It has a lot to do with your topic. Sometimes you might want to compare something to an older thing or find an older article. So but if you're just doing a basic search, that's probably the best way to go. So now we see we have some different types of articles available to you. This talks about older adults. Talks about students, sexual orientation, and minority counseling, addictions counseling. So it must have something to do with minorities somewhere. But as you go through here, this talks about counselor educators. You'll see that there's subjects. So when you see some of the subjects and they might have a different word, based on this, I might go minorities, but no, I think that's good. But these words you could take and highlight and put in and narrow down your search if that's what it's about. Some of these do have cited references, which has also some sorry about me losing my voice here, which some of which were available full text here. Now I'm just going to go in and look at this. I just want to make sure it is a scholarly article. The best thing the database can do is tell you it is in a scholarly journal, but it could be like My First Day on the Job or some other little piece like that. Now, the abstract is always written by the author, so make sure you read the full text. This also gives us some subject terms that may help us out. I'm going to go here to the PDF. The PDF is the actual image of the article as it appeared in the print piece. I see I have multiple authors. I have an abstract. These are signs of a scholarly article. I see from here, if you start seeing these pieces, you'll see the in-text citations. This usually means this is an introduction or a little bit of a literature survey. That would be a sign that yes, it is a scholarly article. We see here who the authors are, even how to contact them. One of the greatest markers of a scholarly peer-reviewed article is this transparency. So it's looking really good. Now I'm looking at the parts. I have method, participants, and data sources. So this is totally on track. This is totally, absolutely a scholarly article, and you'll be able to go down here to see the references at the very end. While I'm here, I'm just going to copy something. You'll see why later. Suppose you really do like this article and you want to look up some of these other pieces. I'm just going to put copy, and I'm going to show you how to do Google Scholar while I'm talking to you today, because that too will be very assistive. I'm going up here to over here to Cite. Oh, you can see you cannot see that, but sorry about that. I can't believe it just did that. Oops, here it is. So I'm over here, and you mouse over, you see it says Cite. When you come here, you can copy and correct these. These are rarely ever absolutely correct. I'll just go through an APA for a journal for you pretty quickly. It's last name, first initials. Seems to be right. There's always a comma in front of the ampersand. When you're using APA and references, it is an ampersand, not AND. We have the publication date in parentheses with a period. We have wellness of minority female counselors educated. That is capitalized incorrectly. A title will only have 3 things capitalized. It'll be the first word, a word after a colon, and a proper noun or noun phrase like the name of a law or something of that nature. So if you were to copy and correct this, only the W would be capitalized. Counselor education and supervision is correct. It is italicized, comma, as is the volume number italicized, in parentheses volume number, period, comma, excuse me, beginning and ending page number, period, and DOI. So if you were to copy and paste this and use it, only the W should be capitalized. I might attach a APA help sheet that'll help you correct those, just in case that was just a bunch of gibberish too. I, again, need coffee, but I'm hoping that's helpful. Some people get confused because they think those are correct. None of them are. It's really hard for them to pull from all these journals to make sure that it is correct. So I'm going to get rid of that. Other things you can do is, of course, email and print this article for yourself. So I hope that was helpful. So let me go back to the detailed record, and that's where it said add cited references. Not all databases do this, but some do. When you see them, you might go in and find that there are other really great articles for you. These are available immediately. You could put these in order and get them 2 weeks and less. If you're working on a dissertation, please go ahead and do that. Yeah, so you see a lot of things going on in here that may be useful if that was your particular topic. Now, I just want to show you a trick that's really awesome. You have to be signed in to Argosy, and I'm going to put in the title of something I found in a reference I wanted to read. And you'll see here it is, it's cited by 70 things. I'm going to go here into Google Scholar, click on this. I'm going to go to settings. Settings always has a gear. It could be here, up here. It changes browser to browser. You're going to click on that, library links, and you'll type this in. Unlike my computer, yours will probably save it. What this does, instead of those 100 databases, it allows you to search scholarly resources inside of our databases all at one time. So I'm going to put paste and go back to that, and look, we actually have it available at Argosy. I'm just going to click through, and it takes us into education source. So if you needed that, you see it's actually available to you. Sometimes people have tipped into Google Scholar and they're like, oh, I can't get to full text, but now that you've said it, it's actually very useful. And these are 2 other things you can do. If this person wrote this in 2005, it's cited by 70, those are going to be more current. And you'll see the people who cited that paper, and you may find more articles. This is really helpful when you're doing dissertations or larger papers. If you have to make sure it's in a couple, really close years, you could put since 2017 and find things that are more current. Another thing you can do if you're continuing to do your research is create an alert on your topic, and it'll email yourself. So essentially, it'll be doing your searching while you're asleep. And finally, another thing I love about Google Scholar is if it's a scholarly article and it's in here, when you see this, again, the rule is to copy and correct. This needs to be corrected. I'm going to tell you why in a minute, but I oftentimes forget the beginning or ending page numbers, or I can't read some sort of gibberish that I wrote down, and this could be very helpful in filling those in. Again, copy and correct. This does have last name, first initials. It is connected with an ampersand. It does have the Oxford comma. We do have the publication date in parentheses, period. The title is not alphabetized correctly. The only thing that should be capitalized would be counselor with a C, and the A that follows the colon. That's the only two things that should be capitalized. Our counselor supervision and the volume number are italicized. We have issue number and beginning and ending page numbers. So that particular citation would be a quick fix, copy and correct. So I hope you could see kind of quickly how to find some of the articles you may be looking at. Another thing you may see, since you tapped in, and I think I'm under, oh yeah, I'm heading for 15 minutes, sorry. Just while you're here, if you're looking for, sometimes your professor may want you to do a discussion post, and he gives you a name of a journal. You just go to Journal Finder, and you'll come here. I'm just going to put in counseling, since I'm sure that'll get something. The Journal of Counseling and Development may be the title. This also is useful if you use Google and you hit a paywall, and you want to know if we have it for you available free. This tells you what databases we have and like what years those databases carry that journal. And then you can just click through and begin your search. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be glad to help you out. So have a great weekend, Bernice.